So you might be thinking, right, um, about the youth, the movements, right? The power we have, the power that we possess. The struggle is still continuing. Things we still want to achieve, flights we still want to be in, and we still have a long way to go. But one thing I know for sure is that find things that correlates or relates one way or another, right? Because it's all about existing and coexisting with one another. So in Africa, we live off with a term called Ubuntu Boto, which is basically humanity, to say you are because of I am. And today's guest is someone that I am grateful of because some of the things I wouldn't have achieved within the movements that we are in. And in some ways, he carried me and showed me some guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is IroC, and this is the Intellectual Relations of Consciousness. So today we are with another photographer and an activist. I almost said something, because of I was featured on the Daily Maverick, the actionist. So I almost called you an actionist. Can't I? It's not an actionist. It's just an activist, sportsman, person who loves to travel. Goes by the name of Andile Shawe, all the way from Alex. All the way from Swaziland. Yeah, nethi ukuthi manje sekanami la South Africa. Bruh. Welcome to the IroC podcast, and thank you for coming through, dog.
Thanks a lot for having me on the show, man.
Yeah, unjeke. Yeah, ngiyamazi umngani wami.
Yeah.
Sharp. Size 1, fede bla.
Sure, man.
Okay.
Mnandi.
Mfethu sibonge. Thanks for coming, bruh. Yeah.
Thanks for the invite, my friend.
Sure.
Yeah,
But otherwise, how has it been, the IroC podcast? I know you watch.
Yeah, aye.
Yeah.
It's popping.
It's
Can only grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my critics are so cool. After.
Sorry.
Tell us more about yourself, bruh.
Okay, so Andile, he's not from Swaziland. I was born in South Africa. Stayed with my mom in Swaziland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ascoshan.
Sure.
South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah. Maras Vulma pod. Yeah. Basically, grew up in Hillbrow.
Yeah.
Moved probably 98. Yeah, I moved around certain places. So yeah, can see I've been networking different classes. Yeah. And then I started playing soccer.
Yeah.
And at 13, Balfour Park. And then stopped at some point because not all of us are gonna make it professional, right?
God.
But there are different streams in the sports industry.
Yeah.
Then I went into administration, coaching. Yeah. And then eventually I started helping out players actually get teams, but more on the women's football side of things. And then through that, with business, started Beyond the Streets. Beyond
the Streets photography on Instagram.
Yeah, but Beyond the Streets enterprise and talent development.
Cheers.
Yeah, so there's fashion, farming, photography.
Yes.
That's how I went into photography.
Yeah.
Via doing our own content for the business.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I just want you to just brief me a bit, right?
Yeah.
But before we get there, right? Do you love wolves? Wolves. Do you love wolves? Yes or no, Joe? Do you love wolves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sharp. Now, I want to ask you this. I know you're an alpha wolf, right? But I just want you to just think about this. It's just a thing of me understanding people better. I get to ask them weird questions.
Okay.
You being an alpha wolf, right? Are you an alpha wolf that is actually a sheep in a wolf's clothing? Or are you an alpha wolf being a wolf that was thrown into a den and came back leading the pack?
I'd say I'm a wolf that was thrown into a den and came back leading the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been me.
Why? Why? Bakulahlela, boy.
I've always been put into situations where I have to make my way out, and
Yeah.
I always come out tops.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, how has that been like with you being in sports and traveling and now the enterprise?
Basically, I always say my life is based on trial and error.
Yeah.
So when I try something and it doesn't work, try something out. Something different.
So you
You'll
think
always get there
so
eventually.
you think sports was trial and error for you?
Basically, not being able to play professional,
Yeah.
that was a trial in playing. That didn't work out. So I went into the coaching side.
I see what you
That
did.
didn't
there.
work out.
I see what you did. there.
So yeah, you are growing.
So you went and trialed.
Yeah, you know.
Guma trial. You went and
Yeah.
trialed, and
So you can
yeah.
only grow and see where you can fit in
Sure.
that industry.
And how is it? You grew up in Hillbrow.
Yeah.
How has it been? Oh, whoa, Joe. Kala bodlalela phi la Hillbrow. Dlalela phi pona?
Not a hill, but ngicala ukudlala mangihlala eQ.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Ngoba
yeah.
ngilanda endlini so Jimele Park,
Ayi izinja.
and then I eventually Jimele Alex Rotary.
Yeah.
Mnandi.
So tell me this, man. How difficult is it to make it to being a professional footballer?
It's quite difficult because first of all, your talent alone won't get you to a certain level. You need to have a certain level of discipline as well.
Okay.
Focus. And I also believe like education is also needed because sometimes you lose yourself and you want to play soccer alone, and then that distracts you so much that you
Okay.
forget about
Okay.
education. Then at the end of your career, you are missed.
Aish. Yeah, and me coming from Davidson, bro, I see them.
We are bars, most.
I see.
Let's not mention names.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
know them.
But they still did like a lot. They still did a lot within like the sporting code itself and like the development of it in South Africa.
But
You
I
know?
feel like they are only doing it now. Nah, bo abantu be trial and error.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why am I saying this? You at the peak of your career, you messed it up. Only realized later, I can't go back and play professional. Then you started fixing your life.
Okay.
Yabo?
Okay.
But yeah, we are just grateful that they are back and helping.
And you know,
But I'm not for men's football anyway. So.
yeah. You know, I once played soccer actually.
Okay.
I used to play soccer.
What position? You look like a goalkeeper.
Next, bro. But I was like the last line of defense.
Goalkeeper.
Man, before goalkeeper, man.
Okay.
Ngidlala number 2.
I feel.
Ngidlala number 2.
Big defender straight.
But I'm still like a scrum defender in a way. I want.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to ask you was with football, right? And this is like one of my reasons why I quitted football. Ukuthi sibabhaya esidlala ibhola, Joe. Like isibabhaya, you think of like a team ekasi mhlambe ni-20 in that team, right? And you still don't make it to like ukuthi bakufake eskimini. I want Shawe bench, and then I'm not trying to discourage people, right? But we're just being realistic. I'm a team ekasi I4, I5. I want in one township. I want and you look in terms of like people who are playing football like professionally, it's like less than 40 teams, right? Counting what PSL, right? That's like the top of the chart.
There's quite a lot of teams basically.
Okay, so educate me in this.
Okay.
in terms of like the football, right? We have the PSL at the top,
Yes.
and then
Second division, ABC.
And then
No, ABC, yeah, and then your SAB league, and then your LFA league.
so at which point do you start to like get paid, like real payment?
A real payment. Okay, from LFA level, you won't get nothing, depending. But no works they help you there and there. But
Okay.
now owners don't have money. ABC, Nakona, people struggle.
APC is your Mutsepe Foundation?
Yes.
Okay.
SAB is like, yeah, Nakona struggles. Because I feel like teams must go out and get sponsorships.
Sure.
You can't depend on SAFA because now, yes, they do give you grants and stuff like that. But yeah, South Africa is corrupt, so some teams don't get. That's why there's always complaints and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, yeah, you will get paid if the team has money. So SAP ungabhadala depending on the team you are at.
Okay.
Yabo.
And we have the women's football careers, like we're starting to see more of Abu Posha Mudise, and you helping out women. How has that been, Joe? And more especially being a giant. One thing about your work is that you always with women. How difficult is that, Joe?
How I got into that space.
Yeah.
I just left men's football. My coach Kasi at Bluebirds Ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So through that, I networked with different teams from your Sundowns Ladies, JWV. Yeah, met your coaches, Desiree Ellis,
Yeah.
Simpiwe Lulu. And some situation happened during that point.
Okay.
That's where I saw how they manipulate women's footballers and stuff like that. Yeah, and then
Sure.
I was like, okay, if I can help, then I'll definitely do so because I have my own connections outside of the country as well, but not international, just in Africa. Oh, must start.
Yeah,
in the SADC
Magati International, which Swaziland, guys. Yeah. And traveling in sports, bro. How far have you traveled with sports?
I can say, okay, not sports per se, but just
I know you have traveled.
Me as an individual, I travel when I make time.
Why? Tumelo, on the last episode,
I
he
like
said...
I like seeing Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must start in your own continent before
Sure.
you go outside of your continent. We have our own struggles in the country, you know?
Sure.
See other people's struggles before, and then you can compare and say, hey, these people must leave the country. What are they facing there? What led them to come to our country?
So,
better life.
excluding South Africa and Swaziland, which other countries have you been?
Okay, as a kid, I've been to Namibia, but
Yeah.
recent times I've been going to Mozambique.
Kunani Mozambique?
How? There's lovely beaches.
Okay, yeah. Usho beach like
Lwandle.
Yeah, Lwandle. Kuno Lwandle oluhle.
Yeah.
Because in this show we don't swear, so please just note ukuthi ukhuluma ngani. Context.
Yeah. Lwandle.
Yeah.
Beach.
But tell me cishe ngikubiza ngale gama lama weekends, but it's fine. So tell me, youth and participating, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like me and you, we met and we are part of the Eco Shapeshifters. How important is it for young people to find themselves in a movement?
Okay, I'd say firstly you must find your passion.
Yeah.
You know? If you find your passion, then you'll know where you are going.
Okay.
Okay, with me, I started off at Activate Change Drivers. That taught me how your local government works, you know?
Okay.
So, Ekasi, half of the time you don't know what to do in terms of reporting certain problems. Awulazi in office le counselor uthi likuphi. So that opened my eyes to that. Then came Youth Capital. They more into education, you know?
Okay.
And that's a problem that we have. A lot of kids don't finish school.
True.
Then now I am part of Shapeshifters, learning about climate change, environment, and all of that stuff. So I feel like all of those things coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think we should volunteer a lot as young people, because that also opens doors for working opportunities. It doesn't help sitting at Kasi saying there's no jobs and stuff like that, but going out there, volunteering, your time means a lot. That contributes to your CV, so at some point it will work out.
So tell me, Nim, because I guess we always have like this debate around like how long should a person be volunteering? Like others would say, yeah, I can be here for a year, but after a year it's no longer volunteering. It's just that
That's what I say. Are you in the right space? Are you passionate about what you are volunteering?
That's where it actually comes from.
Yes, because now everyone's chasing money,
Sure.
but it won't just come. Even though those NGOs have money, but it's not money that will just sustain you. Show what you want. In the long run, everything will come to fruition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for how long have you been like volunteering in like from Activate till now?
Okay, I wouldn't say Activate, Youth Capital. I'm in those spaces because I'm passionate about those things. I'm not there for the money or anything.
So you weren't counting?
I am not counting.
But
if I need to raise my hand, I'll raise it.
Oh, okay. And like with that, have you been like been helpful enough like in those spaces, and was the same energy given to you? Like were they helpful to you at the very same level as you were helpful to the movements or like the NGOs?
Okay, I feel like it depends on what program they're having at that time, because you won't fall into everything that they do. So the programs that they've had and I fell into have been helpful, and I feel like that's opened doors for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with that, like where you feel like you in a right space, because you said people must know themselves firstly, right? But then how do you identify the movement after you know, okay, I know myself? Like for example, there are many movements that focus on environmental, right? But you wouldn't know which one necessarily, like to say, okay, I'm gonna go with this one instead of this one. How do you navigate to say, I think I'll be a perfect fit in this organization over this organization?
Okay, so I'd say, what makes you wake up in the morning? If I had to tell you, yo, let's go talk about climate change or something, would that wake you up at 2 a.m. in the morning?
Okay.
Yeah. So passion makes sense.
But Ankeri, like now.
So what I mean is, when I say if that thing will wake you up in the morning, you know that you're in the right space.
Sure.
Because umuntu something and then like maybe go recycle something, and that's not something that you like.
Go do a clean up.
Go do a clean up, and you don't like those things. You wouldn't wake up.
Yeah.
But if it was something else, you wake up so fast, like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, let's go talk about sports, for example.
Wake up.
Yeah, you'll go.
I'm like, hey, let's talk, bro.
Yeah. And with passion coming into it, right? For example, me, I didn't have this passion thing, right? I realized that, okay, at some point I found myself as an activist already. And when we met, we did an exercise called stepping out of your curb, right? How has you like identified yourself with stepping out of your cab? Like, when did you step out of your cab, and how was the experience?
Well, I realized that I stepped out of my curb when I came across that situation in women's football.
Okay,
And that actually told me, you know what, you have the means to actually help these people, so why don't you help them? You're not going to lose anything because you're just accelerating someone else's career.
okay,
In a world where women's football players are not paid and all of that, that little that you do will go a long way.
right. Okay. No, I get you. I get you. But how can one identify themselves to say, okay, I think I'm an activist?
Okay, I think.
Like how, because it's me and you, we know ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But there's like that one in Tuana Yakukasi Oishileng who is still like trying to find out if like, am I really like an activist like Andile Asho? Next time Andile Magaphuma ngimlandele nami. How do they identify themselves? Because one of the things that we see mostly ekasi, whether you like it or not, you're gonna see a political party more than you see like a movement, and you're like, I'm gonna join that movement.
Okay. The questions they must ask themselves: why are you joining that movement?
Okay.
Are you gonna make any difference? You know, because you can say, I'm an activist. What are you an activist for? What are you fighting for?
Okay.
Are you fighting to make a certain change, or are you just there to show face? You know?
Sure. But you know, with that term of
Because
fighting,
now, okay, with me,
yeah,
how did I get into that political space? I wasn't really into that political space, but you know, chilling around other activists, you realize over time, man, there's certain things that they are not doing.
yeah,
You might have them sitting at high positions and all of that stuff, but they're not doing anything for the youth. So I put it upon myself to actually challenge them as to why they have those positions but not making any change. Are they comfortable up there making money
okay.
while youth is struggling? We all have the same problems, you know? So if they're going to put you at the top, make a difference.
Is this where youth unemployment comes into place?
Yes.
And without shying away from sports, right?
Yeah.
You're also a photographer,
Yes.
right? And we have things like your fourth industrial revolution, right? And we have things like your artificial intelligence, right? Of which those are like the two things which are making a boom right now. So sometimes we have people who are in positions and they have like the power to influence the unemployment rate, especially within the youth, right? The youth unemployment rate. But we are also fighting this thing of like there's the fourth IR, and there's also like artificial intelligence, of which like now we are fighting machines and robots to say they can do a better job than us. Others are like human touch, it's still like the best intelligence and. How are you finding it within like your career as a photographer?
Okay, for me, I feel like no computer will take away your intelligence as a person and your creativity.
Okay.
So even if you can type out, hey, do this, do that, that will never take away a person's way of thinking and their creativity at the end of the day, because my creativity is more than that. Yes, they can refine and refine and refine certain things, but at the end of the day, you must also refine yourself.
Yeah.
How many times do they have to update AI? You know?
Oh, yeah. Of which
In as much as they are updating, we are also updating ourselves. We're keeping up with the times.
we learning as
Yeah,
we're
you must
growing,
also
yeah.
learn. You can't sit and think, no, izongenzela yonke into. That takes away something from you as a person.
Sure.
Yeah.
And do you use artificial intelligence AI to sometimes edit your work?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Why should I?
I mean, like it's
You know,
there.
with me, I like learning new things. So if I might be a lazy photographer if I'm gonna let AI do everything for me.
But with
It's laziness at the end of the day. Stick to old school stuff. Sometimes new school things don't work. You know?
this is where you expose yourself around 2000.
I'll see 2000.
but with AI, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's deal with one firstly.
Yeah.
Let's deal with artificial intelligence. What is AI?
Basically, it's a mechanism
Yeah.
used to generate different things. Well, I guess people that don't like counseling can use AI just to talk and solve their problems. But at the end of the day, that's someone's thinking, you know?
So there is no AI without the human intelligence.
Yes. Someone thought about it, you know? It didn't just come out from, I don't know.
Somewhere.
God didn't make it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what is the fourth industrial revolution?
Basically, we live in an ever-changing world, so new technologies.
More on the mic?
Okay, new technologies.
Yeah.
And yeah, just adapting to a new way of life. Some things, yes, we
that's
must
better.
leave behind.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then you have human intelligence or creativity. What is that?
How you think as a person, how you revolutionize things.
Yeah.
You know, a person can start something from scratch. You know, I can see you doing something and I want to improve that. Obviously, my thinking capacity is not like yours, so I'll do it in a certain way that
Yeah.
makes it different from yours.
So can we then infuse all of this together and put one mechanism where the human intelligence and the artificial intelligence come in, combine, and become one under the umbrella of like the fourth industrial revolution?
I think to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Here it's artificial. It's not real. We're the real deal.
So you're saying, because where I want to get into, right,
Yeah.
is how do we actually tackle the youth unemployment rate, which is like rising sky high, right? But I just want us to maybe like figure out why, besides, because sometimes you always blame the government to say, yeah, we are unemployed because the government doesn't create opportunities. The government, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, to some extent, it's the government, but to some extent, humans create some things, and then those things, they take away our jobs.
I feel like we our own problem as people.
Uh-huh.
Why am I saying this? Okay, our education system sucks, right? I feel like if people had to choose their own way of doing things, it would be
Sure.
better.
Say education system sucks.
It
So
does
episode one, bengiqala uminister ukuthi minister play this podcast kuma-smart TV when uthi they suck.
They suck. Why? In fact, you know why? I feel like sivalelwa ngaphandle. We don't explore our passions. I'll always go back to passion. If someone loves something, they'll do it wholeheartedly. You get your teachers that tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
You won't amount to nothing. You this and that. When udume ngokwenza izinto ngezandla. Yabo?
Okay.
That's why when I travel, I notice certain things. Get a person from Mozambique, they're very good with their hands. Most of them don't go to school, but they're making money. They are passionate about that. Those people will sell you a seashell.
Uthenga ingaki? He just came back from Mozambique, by the way.
Aye.
Njengoba khuluma kanje, like,
Buy a one.
nah, you lie.
I'm serious. Why should I buy if I can pick them up on the sand?
Because whenever you are lazy,
I'm not lazy.
or you're passionate about picking up things from the sand.
It's just a seashell, bro.
Uh-huh.
So if we brought that mentality of education system where kids are free to do what they want, explore,
Sure.
what you love. Because you can't afford going to a musical school. How many musical schools are there, guys?
Yeah, a few.
You get?
Few.
There's a few.
Yeah.
Mara, yeah. Is it part of
I
like a National School of Arts, for an example?
sure.
Yabo manje bafaka ini your what's these schools? Schools of specialization.
Technical
Yes,
schools and like
technical
special,
high schools are
yeah.
needed. I feel like they are needed more
Okay.
because those things give you an advantage going into varsity. Nakona, not everyone needs to go to varsity.
For example, me.
Young tall. So, yeah. Once you go to school and now you are born out, then doing 7 when I'm able to chunela amapoto from scratch, you ask to ashaka njani amapoto. Ayukupheka mara ushaya ipoto. Yabo
Yeah,
shama
uliyenza.
ushaya 3 foot yakho special.
Sure.
Abakufundisa ngalento leyo uzifundele wena. Yabo.
Yeah.
The only thing that would be nice is if government had to support those people.
Okay.
Because those people at the end of the day will bring in money. I mean, people, they are investors outside.
Sure.
They'll invest in that company. The economy goes up.
Yeah. And did you learn this by traveling or?
No. Me, I read.
Yeah.
But traveling also teaches you certain things. Like you look at the landscape and cultures. Why are certain people from African countries in South Africa and are not lazy to do certain things? That's why you understand that thing, okay, South Africans are lazy. You know, because we want stuff from the government. Yet, you know, I mean, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4. But we want easy money, quick cash. Quick cash is not there.
Yeah.
You know, yes, you can wait for 350, but is it worth? Is it living expenses and your whatnot? Will you live off 350?
It doesn't cover everything, actually. Yeah.
Yes, so that's why I'm saying abantu bangaphandle, they know what they are good at. Yabo?
Compared to people
us.
who are given like
You know,
everything
if
on
everything
a
is
silver
on a
platter.
silver platter, you become lazy, you relax. You know?
You know, this is why I actually asked you about being a wolf, you know, because I feel like many people will no longer have that thing of I need to survive, you know, I need to survive. And I think strong times, right, or hard times create strong men, right?
True.
Yeah, and I think right now with like our current situation we are facing as a country, I think it's because those strong men created easy times, and easy times created weak men.
True.
So with that being said, right, I know you've watched this and you know where this is going, right? But before we talk about artistic activism, I just want you to nominate your community hero. So for like people who are viewing into this for the first time, nominate a community hero is basically the IroC podcast saying thank you or giving gratitude to the people who deserve, you know, to be given that gratitude because of the amazing work that they put out in our communities. Being it's a movement, being it is an organization, being it's certain individuals or even like a singular person. But we just want to say, as IroC podcast, we appreciate you and we see the good work that you are doing, you know. So yeah, with that being said, who is your community hero and why?
I won't lie.
Okay, who's your hero again?
Alex, ngati ubablinda twala. I think he's done so much for Ikasi. Besides ukusiza abogogo, he's also helping the young people.
Who's Bablinda? Angmazi, is he?
He's a philanthropist.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if he's struggle hero, but he's been helping Ikasi. You know, he's one of those guys where you get to his place, you have a nice conversation with him. And then when you leave, he'll force you to take something home with you. Even if it's toiletry or whatnot. He's one of those people.
So
During COVID, he was there for the community.
so tell me about Ubablindo Twala. Like what does he actually do?
He does everything.
Yeah.
He also helps people that don't have houses.
Is it Lindo or Linda?
Linda.
Bablinda Twala.
Yes. So he helps people that don't have houses, accommodates them,
Like take them in.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's one of those people.
And have you went to his house?
Yeah, we actually chilled.
Yeah.
Had a conversation.
About?
Politics.
Oh, okay. because I know you are one of like the young people I know who are involved in like a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And we went to do this training for artistic activism, right? What is artistic activism, and what's the significance of it?
Okay, activism. For me,
Artivism.
Yeah. So for me, it's just using art to tell a story, but also how you tell that story. Like if you want to send out a message to whoever you are demonstrating against,
So how have you been using it?
Okay, I did my intersectionality, glow in the dark exhibition, where I used, it was a nude glow in the dark exhibition.
Okay.
So in a world where women are faced with so much hate for showing nude pictures, so I decided, how do we change that narrative using art? Because your normal nude, yes, people will comment, yes, you find you thirsty guys and stuff like that, and then people will hate on you for showing your body. Why can't people be comfortable with their own bodies?
I was actually about to say something, but
Say it.
I realized people come for people, Joe. People come for people's hates, right? But now one thing I know is that I was there when you were doing that exhibition, right? And a lot of people who'd come for the models you were working with, it's actually women.
Yeah.
Who would come and say you are putting up such a body and it's like this and it's like that. You must have like a certain body in order for you to do like a certain thing. What message would you like to like put out, out there to someone? I'm not saying I'm promoting nudists. I think I like get this.
Let nudists be nudists.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm like saying what they're doing is bad, right? But all I'm saying is there are things I'm not a fan of, right?
Like?
Women who would say you're not supposed to look like this as a woman, you're supposed to look like this as a woman, right? I wouldn't necessarily be that one person to say, yeah, that woman is right and that woman is wrong, right? I'm just one person who'd say, I will do my part, you do your part, as long as your part doesn't get to hurt other people. So the reason why I'm saying I don't really follow up with nudists, right, is because now everything has become I'm a nudist, without understanding what really a nudist is about, right? So when I'm talking about nudist, I'm not talking about nudist by definition. I'm talking about people who just want to walk around naked in the name of nudists. Same thing applies to feminists, right? There are women who just come straight for men and they hate men and they hate men in the name of being a feminist, right? So what what's your take on like women? That's what I was asking you before Mputiso, why.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your take around women who
Hate on
hate on other women because of their career of being models?
I feel like those people have problems of their own. They are not comfortable in their own skin, you know? Because no woman would show skin, you know? So you have a problem with someone else doing it because you are not comfortable with your own skin. And it's not a matter of culture or whatnot. Say, no one is complaining Uti, there's so much nudity there. Yet if someone else does it, because you don't know that person, you wanna hate.
Or because they're a public figure,
Yeah.
you'll give them the glory.
Yeah. So you must be comfortable in your own skin first before you can hate on someone else. Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
How would you feel?
It makes sense now.
You know?
It makes sense of like your work, because I always questioned like why are Andile are busy like with women, right? And why are some of the women like taking pictures naked? But what has been the challenge for you in that thing?
I'd say the challenge is them getting out of their shell.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a person would want to do something, but they are afraid.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just a matter of me making them comfortable enough to actually do what they want to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about the world, it's about them.
And before we just like close it off, right? Your last exhibition, it was based on intersectionality. Why?
Okay, with intersectionality, I feel like you find different people hated for who they are, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I did an intersectionality exhibition, because you find people in the LGBTI community or straight people and all of that
Yeah,
being hated on.
we call ourselves cisgender now. We don't say we are straight people.
Hey, Baba, I'm old school. That's why even now with pronouns, I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
We respect people.
Sure.
And yeah, we must understand them. So I feel like we live in a world where people are just hated for who they are. So I had different people from different walks of life showing off their body, but in an art form, you know?
All right.
Yeah, so we had your plus size models, lesbian, gay, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, people just got out their boxes and showed that, you know what, this is life.
And there's more to it than just a photo name.
Yeah. Each and every person has their own story. There's a background story to everyone that I took pictures of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in closing off, right? What's that one message you'd like to put out through that camera, through that one? What message do you want to put out there that the next I hate the next Andile Shawe, right? But the next person who would take your career path needs to learn before taking that path. Yeah.
I'd say just be yourself, explore. Don't look at yourself in a certain way. If you want to try something, do it.
Yeah.
Don't let people bully you into doing things that you don't want to do. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. That's how you will grow. If something doesn't work, try a different path, but in the same career stream.
Sure.
Everything will fall together, you know?
If you want to take a career path, rather take a different career stream and not change everything, right? And that's one thing you think it's more advisable.
There's no straight road
Yeah.
to success, so you might as well take a detour,
Okay.
and you'll get to where you want to get to. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is IroC, and I'm not just a noun, but I think I'm a doing word. It has just been a long day, but one thing I just want to say is I'm glad to still be alive, right? And to be here and to be safe. So if you're out there and you want to do like photography, you want to become an artistic activist, you want to become like an entrepreneur, you want to become a musician, the best thing for you to do is just to start, and sure, we're not saying things are gonna be smooth, but things still, even though they are challenging, you still need to move on as a person. So from me to you, my message is just keep on doing what you love and love what you're doing. Until we meet again, my name is IroC, and IroC is a doing word.